Welcome to Metro City. Literally hundreds of people live here. Aren't the skyscrapers beautiful? Oh, look, construction. They're building something new. Maybe we should help out. Olga, what can we do to help?
I have generator for powering crane. Construction cannot continue without crane.
Hi, and welcome to VR Jive's budget PC test. This time we're looking at Final Approach. Final Approach is a Steam game that's been around for a while, but it's definitely one of the more in-depth VR games you're gonna get on the store. The budget PC used in this test is running an MSI RX-480 with 8GB of RAM. It's got an AMD FX 8370 running at default 4GHz, 16GB of RAM, and Windows 10 Professional 64-bit. At the top of the video, you'll see that we have the frame timing data for the GPU.
Excellent. Now that you have the generator situated, maybe you can hop down there and turn it on. It has a 4-digit code, but no one ever remembers what it is. I'm sure you'll get it.
A red line will appear when the system enters into interleave reprojection.
Hey, we got a burglar cornered on the rooftop, but I lost the location. Can you go find the guy? Just pick him up and bring him to the station.
When the GPU can't handle the required 90 frames per second, it'll drop down to 45 frames per second and double the frame rate.
So this chopper is bursting into flames, and I think the fanning for the propellers is making it worse. Can you find me an open helipad?
Interleave reprojection will calculate head movement, but it won't compensate for positional data. What that basically means is if you're moving your head around, it'll match your head movements, but if you're moving your whole body, changing your position, it can't compensate for that. So interleave reprojection is not a problem if you're standing still and just moving your head around, like in shoot 'em up games. But in this game, where you're actually moving around a lot, you will notice some stuttering if your system is in interleave reprojection. Luckily for us, the AMD RX-480 is not having any problems at all with Final Approach.
I very badly need to get down to the ground. You can help out with that, right?
Thanks for the lift.
So I got a part-time job with the news people. I get to fly around town and report what I see. Think you can point out where I should fly?
The bluey purple part of the graph represents the time spent by the application. This is also split into two parts, other and scene. The scene portion is the amount of work performed between when Wait Get Posses returns and the second eye texture is submitted.
Well, that looks like a car wreck. Big one, too. I think you're gonna have your hands full cleaning that up.
I need to move those cars so you can get to the people who are hurt. I'll take them to the construction site, or wherever you want, as long as they're out of the way.
There's a building fire you need to take care of.
The khaki green section of the graph, labelled Other, represents the rendered time for the companion window. The companion window is what we use to record the game footage for this video. The companion window is rendered after the main HUD footage is rendered. For the frame timing data, lower is always better. The graph is giving us a number out of between 1 and 11 of how hard the GPU is actually working.
There's a building fire you need to take care of.
The level I've chosen in Final Approach for our test is called Rescue. It's definitely one of the largest maps you'll experience in the game. Most of the maps in Final Approach are smaller than this one, and you get little to no time in reprojection. The system only enters into reprojection for split seconds, basically the 3-second time it takes to enter and exit reprojection. That happens when the GPU basically has to load new sections of the map into the memory buffers on the GPU.
I have never been so lost in my life. I give up. Tower, just point me in the right direction.
If I spin around quickly or jump to an area where I'm fighting a fire, the system enters reprojection for a split second while that section of the map loads.
Oh, those poor people. Once the cars are out of the way, I'll take them to the hospital.
Playing Final Approach has been one of the smoothest, most detailed VR gaming experiences I've had on our budget gaming system. When playing through Final Approach on our budget PC, we got no lost frames whatsoever. Final Approach has provided us with not only the highest quality gameplay, but the most detailed storyline I've seen in any VR game to date.
Tower, I'm desperately in need of someplace to land, if you could help me out.
After having quite a few negative experiences with Unreal Tournament engine-based games on our budget VR system and the AMD RX-480, this Unity-based game has truly surprised me with the level of quality, cleanness, and just how sexy this game is in VR. With all that quality and detail, it still runs smooth as silk on a budget system. The developer of Final Approach, Phaserlock Interactive, has truly set an extremely high standard for Unity-based games.
Well, that's that. Even when there's no runways to worry about, there's still plenty of air traffic to take care of. You did great.
If you don't have Final Approach, it's definitely a must-have for anybody who owns a HTC Vive. It is lots of fun, and when I first saw it on the Steam store, I thought, an airport simulated game doesn't really sound like it's going to be fun at all. And I owned the game for about a month before I even decided to play it. And it's just a blast. It's good fun. The details are great. Being able to port to ground level and look at things from the level of the little people down there. Those people are so detailed, it's crazy. As you can see, all the streets, the leaves on the trees, everything looks really good. I'm giving you a bit of a close-up here of the streets and the street signs and the buildings, just to show you how detailed all the graphics are. Final Approach definitely gets a big 5-star rating for us at VR Jive for our budget PC system, and it's a game anybody who has a HTC Vive must try.